Okay. Alright, looks like we've got things up. Hello, everybody. Alright. How is the music versus voice sounding? I need to move the music down a little bit. Is that better? Screen res looks terrible. Well, yeah, I'm on a 4K monitor. Does that look better? Yeah. I think that's just the problem with the 4K monitor at 1080p. Right, anyways. Essentially what I'm going to go over today is making a UI module from scratch, which this will be useful for our Mod Squad guys, as well as anyone who's interested in making a mod for CU, which is going to be super easy using our new system. It's super easy. Mark's laughing. He thinks it's not going to be easy. It's easy if you know how to make a website.
There you go.
If you know HTML and JavaScript and CSS, they all kind of go together. So, there's a couple of things that you need in order to start before you can get anything going, and that's going to be you're going to need Git, which you can get at Git SEM website. Yeah, you need to know how to use Git, how to use GitHub. Stuff's pretty simple. Installing Git on Windows is as simple as going to the Git website and downloading it here at the download for Windows button and installing that. That'll install it, and you can use it on your command line. Tutorials. A link here. If you want to learn how to use Git, then I'm just putting this up here so people can see that when they watch this on stream. Atlassian has some really good Git tutorials. You can see the URL here, atlassian.com/git/tutorials, and they can teach you how to use Git, which is very useful. In addition to Git, you're going to need npm, or not npm, Node, Node.js, which is nodejs.org. And just like the Git thing, just click the big download for Windows button and install it. And install Node. The reason why we use Node is for building our packages. We use a lot of external libraries, and all of our code is for the CU libraries are built as npm modules, as Node modules, so that you can quickly and easily install them with a single command line command, just npm install like CU core, for example, and you can get access to our libraries for working with the client. And hello, welcome Agony. So that's Node. I've already got Node installed, and I've got Git installed, I'm not gonna go over how to install that. That's pretty simple. Okay, so first things first, to start, you can see our official CUI up on our GitHub, github.com/cscgames. It's also in the bottom of the stream. Do that way. On the little text that's streaming on the bottom of the stream, our CUI project is the current new repository, which currently has one thing in it. Mod Squad guys will be filling this up with all of the stuff from our legacy one, which is what our UI stuff used to look like, and this actually contains everything that's currently in the game here. So if you want to work in our UI, you can just clone this down from CUI, and just copy that clone URL, go to a folder. I'm in G repo demo. There we go, make it bigger. There we go, done. Alright, now like all of our stuff, when you're using node modules, you're going to have to install them. So just type npm install and it installs it. It'll go through downloading all the packages that it requires. You can see there, it's going to take a little bit. So while it's doing that, I'm going to explain the second thing that you're going to want to use. If we have a really cool module builder that Sadie, one of our Mod Squad guys, built, which is C module generator, which uses Yeoman, which I'm going to use this in the example. It tells you how to install it here. Just follow it. Just go to a new folder, clone it, install npm link, and then npm install -g, which is a global install for Yeoman. Sure, I will link the URLs as well in the video. So Yeoman is a generator in order to make, whatever you want to make it make. So this one makes modules based on our module boilerplate, which you can also find on our CSE Games GitHub under CU module, no, not CU module generator, CU boilerplate module, that one right here. And the generator just sets this up, and we talk about the structure and stuff on here. So now that we have it's installed, almost, still installing. You can see I have it here. It's installing, downloading stuff. All the modules that it installs go into the node modules folder there when it's done installing them all. It'll take its time. So let's get started here. While it's installing, I can at least get my project ready, so I can open up Sublime Text, which is what I like to use. Sublime Text 3, you can use whatever you want. Visual Studio Code works, it's free. Sublime Text is not free, $70, but definitely worth the money in my opinion. But if you're doing it for free yourself, you can use Visual Studio Code, which is free, or Notepad++, or you can use Visual Studio, or normal Notepad, whatever you want. The music is from Koala Control. Koala Control? Yeah. I'll link the playlist here. Alright. I'm just gonna add this here. See how our install is doing. Alright, our install is done. See, it installed all of these things, and it gives you a nice tree output now. This is new as of like a couple versions of NPM ago. in the last month, which is pretty nice. All right. So once I've done all the stuff for the module generator, I can start working on a module, which I was thinking probably a pretty fun idea for this tutorial. Go over, we can start with something kind of simple and make it much more complicated using a lot of our CU stuff. And what I'm going to make is a KOS list. This was actually I think one of the Mod Squad guys' suggestion, which I think is going to be cool. So, get started on that. How's it going, Evil Acid? So to start out, we're going to use the Yeoman generator that I talked about. Which to use it, you just type yo, and then whatever generator you're using. Ours is called CU module, so you type yo CU module from within the CU UI directory that we had downloaded. We cloned. Basically in here, it's going to ask me a module name. We're going to call this KOS. Alright. And you can see that it created this KOS folder, as well as all of the files in it that we'll need. Yeah, I can paste pin the URLs, sure. Good idea, Tim, which was a PM. It's alright. So before I go, I need you to know. Yeah, well, you're not getting a silent stream today, Sacrix. You get to listen to my beautiful voice talking to you so softly. Or whatever. So this is pretty much what you get from the generator. If you go into the source directory in the KOS folder that was just created, that's where you actually do all your work. The stuff that is outside of the source folder is most of it you don't ever need to actually edit yourself unless you get into more advanced stuff, and then you can edit it. Like you can edit our build config files and stuff, but for very basic stuff you don't need to edit it, just everything that's in source. So you can see what you got in the source here. We have a TSX file, which is a TypeScript React file. Under the TS directory, we have a SAS directory, which gives main.scss, which is a type of preprocessor for CSS. We use SAS in the SCSS format for our stuff. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. You can write pure CSS and just include it in the HTML file. If you use this as is, it's already included in the HTML file, so actually I can pull that up too. You can see here the HTML file includes CSS kos.css, which this file over here, main.scss, will get compiled to kos.css. You can also see that it includes the kos.js, which are main.tsx. Anything that is imported and included into this file gets compiled using our build tools into kos.js. It uses the name of the module, but inside the module, everything's the primary ones are called main, so that we know that that's the entry point, and it gets compiled down into using the name of the module itself. And lastly, other than our TypeScript file, our HTML file, our CSS file, Yes, JS is JavaScript. CSS is cascading style sheets, which is how you style things. The last thing we have here, which is our own format, which is just a JSON format called just a UI file. It's called kos.ui. This will be named whatever your module is .ui, and this is how we know what to render in the client and how to use your UI in the game client. So you have the name. The name is used, so if you're in our game client, you want to open or close the UI, you use this name to reference it. Main file tells the game client what's the name of the file for to main to start with, which is index.html by default. The rect is where to put it. And then you have all these handles down here, which we have in by default everything that is currently defined of what you can handle and set to false. If you want to handle anything of these, you just set it to true. And this will change over time as we add more stuff. For example, if you want to handle input, you'll need to set this to true. And then that way you can actually get input into your UI element. If handles input is false, you can just click right through your UI element as if it's not even there. So if you want things that are just kind of visual and to be able to click through to the game, you would leave that as false. Alright, we're going to get started on making a module. Okay. First things first, we're going to do a little quick KOS list. And I'm going to use React for my KOS list. So I'm going to go into a folder, and I'm going to install React through npm. And I'm also going to install the TypeScript definition for it using TSD. And that will set up the TypeScript definition so I can actually use React and TypeScript. Alright, so now in here, I don't need CU core right now, so I'm going to get rid of that. Also, I don't need to console log this thing. Alright, get rid of this. We'll just make this one window for now. Now our module doesn't do anything. Alright. If you've used React before or haven't used React before, React is everything that we use for our modules, which you can find at the website, React's website. You can search it, Google it. They have a nice getting started section, which explains how it all works, and it's essentially the rendering. It does a lot of HTML rendering for you really nicely. Based on the front page, though, what we want to make right now is we're going to make a cool little module called a KOS list. So we can keep track of people we want to kill. Because either they killed me, whatever, everyone knows what a KOS is. So we're going to have a UI mod to track your KOS. Because why not? So KOS list is really just kind of a list, and based on the React tutorial here on the front page of the React website, you can see an explanation. They have a to-do list here, which you can be like, go shopping, add a list, do more stuff. Our KOS list can be pretty similar to this, and I wanted to make this as simple as possible, so we can pretty much emulate this functionality for now, and then build onto it. So based on the actual JavaScript React, we can copy their tutorial and convert it into TypeScript and use that. Let's go over here. In HTML, for using React, the first thing, you're gonna need a place to put it. So I'm gonna just make a div ID app. Why not? Because that's where we'll put it. And then everything that we will render in React will get rendered inside of this app div there. So that's pretty easy on the index.html side. And we'll go to the TypeScript side. I'm going to paste in their tutorial, which will not work because we're using TypeScript. And this is all JavaScript, and it's going to be very mad when we try to compile this. So I will do a little bit of conversion here. Let's import React. And instead of, let's see, we got the first part is this to-do list. We're going to use a React class for that. So to-do list. There we go. For this type of module, we're going to be adding things to it dynamically. So actually, React's a pretty good use for it, and it makes it simple. And there may be a little bit more boilerplate than if you're using jQuery, but if you know React, it's very explicit and it allows you to know exactly what's happening. More so than looking at something that does direct DOM manipulation. It's about having a standard and sticking to that standard so it's easy for other people to work with it. Pretty much we can copy this up over here, use that exactly as it is, and there is the first one converted into TypeScript. You can see the difference between the two. This is, you could use the React.create component method from React TypeScript. I prefer the ES6 class style. It's pretty nice. Boilerplate, if you're wondering what that means, boilerplate is basically code to get started in something, and a lot of it's kind of like your bunch of code that is like the same that you write just to get something going. That's a terrible explanation, but you understand what I'm saying? Alright, next thing. This class is a little bit bigger. And for this one, it also has a state, which I'm actually going to use a React's typing to set a type for the state. So let's create that real quick. KOS app state. So we're going to have the state has an items, which is an array of strings. And it has text, which is just a string. And just create a structure, this.items. Oh. There we go. That way we don't have to do the state initialization that it does here in this get initial state. This will actually, we'll do this in the constructor when we do this class here. So make a class KOS app extends and in the second parameter of the template we can use the state. The first parameter is properties, which I could define here for properties as well. The properties has an items, and I can go back and do that in a second. You'll want to take properties in the constructor and then pass that just straight up to your parent. Now we're going to initialize the state. KOS app state. I don't know why I did 0. Alright. Okay. And there we go. That's initial state part done. We got on change and handle submit. Let's copy these. Convert them. It's just going to be a class member function. We can get rid of that and get rid of the comma at the end. Just get rid of the function. There we go. Pretty simple. You can use that. However, one thing to note, this is a class now, and it's you'll need to bind this for these methods. So to do that, you have to do on change. Use this, that, on change, bind this. That way we can access this inside this method. JavaScript's a little weird with their classes in that they don't automatically bind to this. Weird as in not like, you know, C++ or C#. We automatically have this. JavaScript classes do not have this there. So it'll submit equals this dot. There we go. Those are those two. That our render method. Okay, get rid of that. And then that'll work. Makes modding easy. Alright. So now, go back a little bit. Alright, now you can see that the tutorial to do class, to do app, that has been converted to KOS app, which essentially has the same things, and is React class. There is going to be an error here, as you can see with these red lines. We're trying to set state, and our state is of type KOS app. It always wants to be a full type. So one thing you're going to need to do is add the items in here, which is going to be this.state.items, because we're not changing it. Easy is a relative term. Okay. Lastly, we're going to render this KOS app, which is not React.render, React.render with TypeScript. Mount node is where you want to put it, which we're just going to get element by ID, and the ID was app that we had set in the HTML. Okay. Now, that's not very much code. You can see it there, and that should give us our little to-do app list like they have on the, basically this thing. Of like, hello. So let's put that in our UI. Go back in the command line. We'll go into the main repository folder and going to run gulp install. You need to do this if after you create a new module or after you first clone and install. You don't have to do this every time you make a change, but we haven't done that yet after we created the new module. This goes through and installs the npm packages for all of the modules that are in the project as well as all the libraries. EdgePros was asking about having the app as a subclass of the state class. I'm not sure what you mean, EdgePros. Alright, now once that's installed, you're going to run a publish command, which is gulp publish, which goes through, compiles all of the projects, which right now in CUI, we only have KOS and Watermark, as well as all the libraries, and it publishes it to the publish directory in a format like our normal UI does. Oh no, it did not inherit Atropos, is what you're wondering. Let's see, let me go over here and explain that. Alright, so you're talking about right here, this KOS app state and KOS app state there. React.component is a generic class and it takes 2 template parameters. It's not inheriting from KOS app state. It's just on React.component, it is defining the type of its state to be this type. That's what a template does, a generic. You can have type parameters within a class that are not strictly defined, and then when you define the template, you say what type that is. Kind of a programming thing. Not really specific to React. React itself doesn't have templates, it's TypeScript's React does, which we use TypeScript for all of our stuff at CU for UIs. This is going to get much more complex, which is why using React is nice. Alright, let's see if our publish is done. There we go, we're done. Finished publish. It took 30 seconds. Alright. You're welcome. By default, it publishes all of our modules into the publish interface directory and interface lib for our libraries. So if we go to our interface directory, you'll see there's a KOS folder here now. That is our built UI, which I don't know if it's easy for you guys to see in here, but it's got a JavaScript folder with JavaScript, CSS folder with CSS. Yes, Ruglog generics are extremely useful in all types of languages. Alright. Can I zoom in on... No, I can't zoom in on Windows. I can move this to the other screen so that you can see it better. Let's see here. Let's go here. Alright. You can probably see this better on this screen. It's not 4K. In this KOS folder that's published, you can see we have an index.html, kos.ui, which these two are going to be exactly the same as what we had before. Then we see we have a JavaScript file. Put this over here so you can see it. We have KOS.css, which was compiled from our Sass. KOS.js, which is not really human readable. We use Browserify right now. Which compiled a bunch of stuff because it uses React. It's really long. Yep, all that stuff. Because it includes all of React as well as everything that we needed. So there's a lot of code in there. Index.html looks very familiar, just what we had before. And the KOS.ui is the same as before as well. Yes, Icestern, but you know what? Once you do some tutorials, you can come back and watch this on YouTube and then understand what I'm talking about. It'll make way more sense. That's the beauty of the internet. You don't have to understand it all right now. So as you learn HTML and JavaScript and whatnot, and you want to make a mod for CU, you can just come back on YouTube and watch our video. Alright, so let's go back to our publish folder. Now we want to put this in the game. If you open up local app data /CSE /Camelot Unchained on your computer, I typed that wrong. Local app data. Hit enter. You can just type it all. Go to CSE, Camelot Unchained, and you'll see in here if you've ran the game client, you'll have the folder 10 in there. If you are in beta 1 or you are in alpha or IT, you'll see the 10 directory, which refers to Wormling. If you've been in Wormling before, 4 is for Hatchery. So if you're in IT, you can have access to 4, and sometimes our alpha guys. But we're going to be doing everything out of Wormling. That way, those of you who have backed us at least the $60 level can actually build this stuff right now and test it using Cube on. I recommend Cube on Wormling, which I'll show you how to get to that. So anyway, so under 10, you'll see that we have an interface and interface lib folder, which mirrors what we see over here in publish, interface and interface lib. If you copy stuff from interface, your module, just copy, then paste that right in there. Our game client will actually be able to find it and load it. So let's switch back over to the other monitor. Okay. So we'll switch back over. Alright. To test it, we'll use Wormling, we'll go to Cube. So I hold down Alt and click play, and then type cube equals 1. And that gets you Cube running off of the latest build of Wormling, which is much more updated than actual Cube right now. Got that running. Alright. We'll go to this zone. Okay. It is still possible to join Mod Squad. Just send me a PM on the forums if you're interested. Or if you don't want to join Mod Squad and you just want to know about UI stuff, just hang out on the forums. We have a UI section on the forums, which is not very active, but could be very active if you go in there and start posting things. So to view this, like I said before, with that name in that UI file, you just type the command in the chat window /openui and then the name, so /openui KOS, and that'll open that up. Maybe. Let's look real quick. So, debugging. We open the UI and I don't see anything. I want to debug to see what's wrong with it. Pod Squad. In Chrome, we have a debugger that runs that you can connect to our game client. So if you go to localhost 8088, so just localhost :8088. And fresh, you'll see all of the OpenUI elements, and then you can debug them. So we got KOS right here on the list. Let's click that guy and see what's wrong. Go in here. I can see that I have errors here. The first one's a warning. That's known. React.renders deprecated. Yeah, I know. Well, TypeScript needs to fix their thing. Well, the TypeScript definition. Anyways, what we see here is uncaught reference error. To-do list is not defined. Let's click on that guy. Because we have source maps, we can actually debug this stuff pretty easily. And it says right here, in React.create element, blah 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 blah, to-do list is not defined, which I know it's not going to be defined because there was one thing I forgot to change. So let's go over to the code and look at that real quick. Pizza friendly. Alright, so the problem is this right here, which actually, with my Sublime Text plugin, TypeScript plugin, it has a red line under it telling me it's wrong. But it didn't give me a compiler when we compiled. So, to-do list here doesn't exist. What it needs to be is KOS list. So, we'll make that KOS list. Bam. Hit save. And let's publish this again. Blah blah blah. Publishing. Kind of publishes everything. Tell me how am I supposed to see the magic? 'Cause I don't believe in it no more. But I won't tell her, 'cause I always imagined it's easier if she thinks she. What was this red stuff? So I'ma let her. Aha. And she said, I don't think I love you no more. I should probably fix these. So what you see here during our publish process, if there are TypeScript errors, smiley emote, you can see that the TypeScript errors get output to the console. So the first one is parameter item text implicitly has an any type, which in our build tools we have don't allow any implicit any's, which is basically just kind of a way to enforce strong typing rather than not using any typing. So we have item text, index as implicit nd, index implicit any, e, and e. So we have 4 implicit any's that we need to get rid of. Here's one of them. And guess what? Implicit any is fixable by an explicit any if you're lazy. So I can do that right now. Technically this is an event item. It's an event, which I can use to do this. However, it's a generic event, which then does not have value, and it's just really annoying. I know it's an event, and I could not care about type checking on that, because then I don't have to cast this to allow the value type. What else? Item text and index. Item text is a string, and index is a number. Okay, let's compile again. Maybe we'll get no errors this time. Compiling the events module, compiling the CU stores lib, compiling CU styles, compiling KOS. This is ours, and it compiled it all without any errors. Excellent. Now let's go back to the other monitor. Bam. Go back to our publish folder and just copy and paste it in, which, by the way, if you notice, the client's still running. I can do this while my client's still running. I don't have to restart the client all the time, which is nice. So I just pasted over the stuff there, and I'm going to close UI, KOS, and then I'm going to open UI, KOS again. Bam. Just closing it and reopening it will reload all of the data in the JavaScript. So now we should have a to-do app that looked like the one on the website. So let's type stuff. More stuff. This is supposed to be a KOS app. Oh, I was supposed to close that, but alright, whatever. Let me edit this real quick, and I don't want it to say to-do, I want it to say KOS list. The 4 prerequisite monitors. I only have 3. We're recompiling again after I changed this to say KOS list. You don't need to always compile everything. I think you can compile only the modules. I forgot the command to do just the modules off the top of my head. I'll look that up real quick. So now we have this updated, place, start up the client in cube with the alt click on play, set cube equals 1. Oh, wrong monitor. Here we go.
You get something working? Okay.
Okay. Thanks, me huge. That works. We'll do that. Alright. Me huge is one of our expert mod squatters. He wrote a lot of our CU libraries, and he's awesome. So thank you very much. Okay, there we go, now we got KOS list. And of course, what goes on the top of our KOS list? Donnie T. That's the only thing I need on my KOS list. Now if I find him, I'll know I need to kill him.
Okay.
And let's see what else we can add anybody else's name. Foggy. If I find him. So that's a very, very basic UI mod that is not very exciting, as it is, but it shows you that you can make a UI mod very quickly. Now, if I hadn't explained it all, that probably would have taken someone who knows how to do this web development stuff like 10 minutes, not even, to clone it all and get started. So we're going to add more functionality to this, though. You can do UIs for the game with HTML and CSS. Exactly. To Fogside. Alright. So that was in the center of the screen. We probably don't want it in the center of our screen. So I'm going to put our KOS list, let's say, on the top left. Sound good? Beardchug was asking, is that something you can push down to clients for a dynamic UI, or will the clients always need to turn off and on? As far as like UI mods, you'll be able to update them. Our UI will be able to be changed dynamically. We'll have a UI manager which isn't built in yet. Instead of having to type the /openUI stuff, you'll be able to open up a UI manager and see what's in the folder and, you know, kind of enable and disable from there, as well as set their positions and stuff in the game. But right now we don't have that yet. So I'm just going to put this like on the left side of the screen. I don't know, let's make it like 300 pixels wide. On the top we'll go like, I don't know, we'll go like 200 down from the top. We'll make it like 400 tall. See how that looks. Handle's input needs to be true. And good for now. So if we go into the KOS folder and run vault publish, it should just publish this one by itself. There we go, widget did. Copy that over. Open up Wormling again. Right monitor. Open up Wormling by alt-clicking play, entering cube equals 1, Wormling cube. Hey Bergoshi, how's it going? The reason why we do this in the UI files right now, Atropos, is so that we don't have the UI taking up the entire region of the screen. Because we don't render anything that has no like color set to it. So if you see this module, which I now put on the left side, is transparent in the background, because I didn't set a background color. It only actually renders the rectangle that we set in the UI file. If it rendered the entire page, then we would have overdraw over the entire page, which we don't want. It's not good to have a lot of overdraw. Each of these are like their own little kind of window, like a Chrome tab, that are just all little windows all around the screen at different rectangles. I can set up a background on this if you want to see how that looks. Let's see real quick. Let's set a background on here, just so you can understand how that works. Let's do a black background. publish. Go back over to the right. You can change your publish path also to so it automatically publishes to where you want it when you're testing, so you don't have to copy and paste all the time. Now let's close it. Now you can see this is the rectangle that I defined, the black rectangle there, and that's actually what's being drawn. So if my web page was bigger than this rectangle, you'd see scroll bars and stuff if I have that enabled to be displayed via CSS. Right, go publish user UI. Awesome, thanks me huge. Let's see that real quick. Let's do a quick change. Rough, huh? So let's change this color on the background to like gray. That should publish this directly to... Yeah, but that goes to the... I'm pretty sure that goes to the hatchery one. Me huge. Does this look real quick? Don't stream. Yeah, well, I can ignore that. Yeah, that publishes it to hatchery. It is a good. It does work, me huge, but it publishes to hatchery. We should probably have a option in our build tools. We'll make a note of this to publish to set it to be wormling or wormling or hatchery, because that did publish it here. So close UI.
An hour make a difference. Wait an hour make a difference. I'm just starting to fade.
What? What are you talking about? There's nothing there. There's nothing that says don't stream. They actually, they're all based. Atropos was asking about how it handles different client resolutions. What auto scales based on what our expected scale is. You can see here. It's bigger. All right. Oh, great. That works. Alright, I'm gonna move this up a little bit because it was kind of overlapping chat. Alright. Now just to see if this works, we're going to delete that in there. Oh, publish. Yeah, see, thanks me huge. The build tools were actually built by Sadie along with me huge and Agony and all the guys at Mod Squad. So they may in fact know this more than I do, as far as how that works. So there we go. Now it's actually there. It published directly to it, which is awesome. Ice Stern about moving UI elements around the screen and resizing them from inside the client. Yes, you will eventually. We don't have support for that yet. We're still in the We're the kind of infancy stages with our UI stuff. We're going to build a UI manager to allow you to do that stuff and whatnot. Well, awesome, Medex. Alright. This is KOS. What do we want to add next? We want to... like, what else do we want on our KOS list? I think... one thing we have right now, unfortunately, if I open this up... yeah, saved variables. Atropos is asking about that. That was actually what I was about to go get into. How would the client persist the list across sessions? Oh, I logged into Andrew's zone. Well, you know what? What happens? Let's see. List. Donnie. Alright, so I got Donnie on the list. And let me close and reopen the game client. Try another. Kill counter. That's a good idea. We'll add that too. I think first we're going to go with what Atropos wants to know. How do we persist this between logins? How do we persist this data? Well, we're obviously not persisting anything right now. Because there's nothing there. How am I supposed to know who I'm supposed to kill on site now? We have, since this is essentially Chrome, a Chrome browser in your game client, we have access to local storage. So we can actually store this list in local storage, and as long as you don't clear out your cache for the client, which is in local app data near that interface stuff, but usually not clearing out normal Chrome's not going to do it. You're going to have to like actually want to clear out your client cache to do that. We can store in local storage, so it should be pretty good. So let's first store our list in local storage. Let's do that. I don't like the background. I'm gonna get rid of the background too. Alright. A bounty. Alright, so we have to add a bounty to it. Go over here. First, let's get rid of the background color. We'll just have it transparent. Local storage. How do you use local storage? Easy. Just called local storage. But since this is a tutorial for people who have not used this before, I'll show you where to find that information. Mozilla has lots and lots of tutorials on how to use JavaScript stuff. Probably the best site to go to is the Mozilla Developer Network, MDN, which is at developer.mozilla.org. Which, see here, is their main site, and you can go in here, you can search the docs for whatever, or you can just go right to the JavaScript stuff. So we can type in local storage. Bam. Local storage, and it explains how to use it all right here. Which is just, it's on window. This is if it doesn't exist. Guarantee you, local storage exists in our game client, so you don't need to do this stuff. You just need to access it just like that. Alright. So we can get rid of that. And we have, anytime that we change our list, I need opposite off storage. What? They're not going to be automatically namespaced. Yeah, you'll have to worry about that yourself if you want to step on things, or don't want to step on things that other people use. The local storage is saved between all UIs together. They all access the same local storage, so you can actually use that to share data. between UI mods as like a very kind of hacky way to do it. So if you are storing things in your mod, you may want to namespace it yourself so that it has a name that's kind of unique from other things. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to save this list. Local storage. And to set an item in local storage, it takes a key and the data. So I'm going to say, like I said, for kind of namespacing this, I'm going to namespace it KOS app underscore. So this will be my app thing, and this is going to be KOS list. And then the data is going to be my items. So we're going to just save it the current next items. We'll save that there as our data. I think this isn't going to like it because what is it taking in here? Doesn't tell me. What does TypeScript expect? TypeScript expects a string. Okay, so next items right now is a join. So we're going to turn our array of string objects into a single string that is just combined by comma. So that, you know, say I have two names. For example, my array looks like this, and we'll turn it into this. Which is a single string. Like that. Good JSON stringify as well. That's another option, JSON.stringify, which I can pass in next items, like that. If we want to do that, it's up to you. And then you would do JSON.parse on the other side. Though, don't think TypeScript lets you use an array. Yeah, it depends however you want to namespace it. I'm just going to do the simple string thing right now. Next items dot join with a comma, and that's going to save it. And now we're going to want to fill this list out when this app starts up. So we're going to want to set up our state here. And we're going to want to get the item from local storage, if it exists. And it's going to be at here. That's what we called it. If that exists, state equals KOS app state. If that exists, you're going to set the state dot items equals to local storage.
Exactly.
And instead of, now we're going to split this by commas to turn it into an array of strings, and then set the state equal to my state. Why are you being mean? This should just work. TypeScript typing is annoying sometimes. That works, that works. It was just giving me red things for no reason. That is true. If you put a comma in your string, we will have problems. If you use JSON and you don't use a comma, you won't have problems. So this is version 1. The other version, if you want to use the JSON one, the JSON.stringify next items. And if you were using JSON here, you would do JSON.parse instead of that. That's pretty much the two ways to do that. Now let's see if it actually works. About the namespacing in modules and local storage usage, I don't intend on enforcing that, mostly because it'd be kind of hard to, because you don't have to use the build process. You can write a UI module with pure JavaScript, and there's no way for me to enforce what pure JavaScript you write in order to access local storage. So it's just kind of, if you are making a UI mod and you are using local storage, use a very secure type of namespace. Either you can use a UUID, or you can use some kind of long ID string for your namespace, so that you will really reduce your chance of being stepped on. And if somebody's UI mod is stepping on other people's UI mod, don't install that UI mod. If it causes problems, complain to the developer of that UI mod and say, dude, your UI mod is messing up my shit, fix it. So our official UI mods will not step on your stuff, and you'll know what we access about. If other people want to mess up your stuff with their mods, don't install their mod if it's bad. If people have bad mods like that, I don't think they'll be popular and people won't use them. Indeed. So, publish was done. Let's continue on over to our client and looking at it real quick on the other screen. Yeah, stuff happens by accident. Local storage should not be used for anything that you have any kind of sensitive data. Any other module can access that kind of data, and you should be able to have your app handle any data missing from that. If your app's local data and local storage can't handle it just being deleted, or that would be like a catastrophe, don't use local storage. You can use cloud storage. You can, upload your stuff to a cloud database. It's probably so we added Donnie to local storage. So instead of just closing this and making sure that it works, we can be smart about this and open up our dev tools and actually look and see if it works. So let's open up in a web browser. You can go to localhost 8088, find your UI mod, which I have here is KOS, the name, and now we can see here in the console our UI. which is being laggy. Refresh. Being slow. Alright, well, our debugging is slow and buggy right now. It seems to be broken. The source maps, apparently, have been breaking things for me huge, and they weren't breaking things for me. And however, they just seem to have broken things for me right now. So that's something we'll work on. So aside from that, we can do it the old-fashioned way of checking to see if this works by closing and reopening the client. Can local storage be backed up in any way just in case someone does stomp your module settings? You personally can back up your own local storage data if you like. All of our data for local storage and cache data is stored on the client in the local app data folder. Let's see, under local app data, CSE-Camelot Unchained, you have your channels, so your cache is actually under the channel ID, which is 10 for Wormling, in the UI data folder. So this here is your entire cache, and you can see there's a local storage folder here, which has all your local storage. It'll have any cookies, any other cache data that the UI caches. So you can back this up whenever you want, however you want. It's up to you. And then you just paste it back in and it'll be there. Bam! AOS list is back with Donnie on it again. Hey, what's going on, Ludovic? Or Odovic? See if this, see again, Petropos. Nix. Add him to our KOS list. Close our client. Start it back up. Hey PK, how's it going? Open my KOS list, and there we go. Now I'll remember to always kill Donnie and Atropos. No, this is just not admin tools. This is UI mods that anyone can make, as long as you know how to do some web development type stuff. So now we've saved it. What else did we want to do here? Someone had a suggestion. Let me scroll up. We want to do a kill count. cloud storage. We want to go to cloud storage already? I think we might want to add some more features before we go to cloud storage. Alright. Oh, yes, GDL. I'm showing exactly right now how to make a UI mod for our game, which you can do right now, and you can make exactly what I have right here. And if you have access to the game client, which if you're in at least beta 1, you do, you can actually do this right now. OSPK asking, can you make it so they show up different on the map and not go against any rules? No, we don't have any player tracking. I can get a real job, Tim, if you really want me to get a real job. No. Alright, let's see, what else can we add? Alright, so we're going to want to remove somebody from the list after we kill them. Maybe. Hello to Leon's nephew, who's 3. Yeah, not a whole lot of code here when we've got something working. Actually, I think MeHuge has had a suggestion. Yeah, remove after how many kills. So we want to know if we've killed this person and remove them from the list if we've killed them. And this is where we actually get to get into some more advanced stuff with our UI libraries, which we have a CU events library. Let me pull this up over here. We have a CU events library on our GitHub. This one is primarily made all by MeHuge, so yay, more stuff that you did. This allows us to hook into certain events from the game client. Let's scroll down here, so you can see currently what this can handle. And scroll up. There is a wiki on this that explains what event topics are currently available. Which you can see. And there's a to-do list. If you also want to help make this library, you can too. You don't even have to be in the mod squad. You can just go on GitHub and do it. She explains how to make how to add stuff to it as well. Just want to look at this real quick and see what we need to know for if we've killed somebody. We want to watching Tyler make leaves. What was the event we needed to listen to again, MeHuge? We talked about this earlier. First, I'll install this library, so we'll need that. The chat one has not been implemented yet. Awesome, so I should implement that. So that'll be like kind of an aside from the tutorial. It'll be me actually implementing stuff on the library, which I can do that, no problem. You're going to want to use CU events. doesn't have what we want yet, so I'm going to actually go into editing CU events mode real quick and out of tutorial how to make UI mode. Okay. Oh, check out. Okay. Close this stuff down real quick, and we're actually going to just edit it directly off of the repository. All of our libraries that we're currently using get cloned down with CUI as well. So if you do want to edit any of our libraries, this is more our mod squad guys do this, so you can actually edit them directly in here, and then you can submit pull requests and all that stuff up to GitHub. So in here, what I need to do is read the wiki. Just bearded robots. Yeah, I don't know about the whole cursing at server data. Everyone's very good and doesn't swear at their computers when we're streaming things. If you want to read about lore, look on the bottom over there in the little text that's scrolling across the screen. There's a link URL that will come by talking about the wiki, and the wiki has a whole lot of lore stuff. I'm gonna go off the tutorial here that MeHuge made for making this event, and it says the first thing I need to do is go to CU Core and make sure that there's an event class in CU Core for chat. Basing off of handles, we can go off of handles announcements. Oh, you on the wrong monitor? Oh, that's probably why. No, you're not getting any poll results now. You are very close, though. Da-da-da. Chat events. On chat takes the type string from body Nick and is CSE. Okay. Bruce, you're talking about CU going into beta by the end of winter is the plan. So, should be sometime over next year. 6 months from now. Sometime over the next 6 months.
They'll be very scared.
Over what? I said sometimes early. I said sometime early next year, which like winter ends March 20th. So.
Get over it.
No, I said early next year. I didn't say over a year. No. This is where the magic happens. Is what this says. If you want to see what I'm reading on his tutorial. Not building any radar. I don't think you have to do that either. Alright. Gotcha. So CU API needs to have on chat for this to work. Make sure that that's on there. That is the compiled lib. Twitter's on chat. Okay. Alright, cool. Thank you, we try to keep our code tidy. This is, announcement stuff was, like I said, written by me, Huge. He writes a very clean code. And, the IDE is, I'm using Sublime Text. Sublime Text 3. I'll skip the, create a chat class object. So we're gonna make something just like this, copy paste. This copying and pasting is great. Handles chat. Topic equals chat. Save this as handles chat. .ps. And then based off that listener, we're gonna make another listener. New file. Save this as chat. Chat. Which this chat takes a lot more than just those parameters. But it's gonna be chat. Here we are. Chat takes. Let's do this. There we go. We want to emit an object that has a type. Basically, we're just going to emit what comes in from string body string pick string this CSE boolean. Handles chat. Stop self-created mods being exploited. Certain mods will have only certain access levels, and anything that's exposed to the game client, we expect mods will use. Anything that we don't want people to use that could be exploited, just not going to be available, or it won't be available to specific UI, public UI elements. What's up? You not hear me? Am I here? Can you hear me? Okay, they were saying that you couldn't hear me. Alright. I don't know what happened. I will type it in. Sublime Text 3. I'll give you a link because I love Sublime Text. It's not really an IDE, it's more just a text editor that has a whole lot of really cool stuff. Actually, that link is for Sublime Text 2. 3 is currently in long beta. It's been in beta for a long time. Like over a year. Let's see when the first beta was no, over 2 years. The first beta was January 2013. But it's an excellent IDE. Got a whole bunch of packages that you can install to get, like, for TypeScript here. I use a package. So if you look at my packages for package control and list my packages. In this TypeScript package, which you can just, once you have package control installed, you can just go through here and install it, like install package, and just type in TypeScript, which I've already got installed, so you don't see it here. But there's a couple other ones. If I want to do something in Java, there's a whole bunch of different plugins for that. I don't ever use Java, so like you can search and just find a whole bunch of things. It's pretty nice. Emacs, old people. What I gotta say about that? Alright. So I think that's pretty much it for the chat listener there. Yep. Let's see. What else? I have to export the topic, make it available by doing that in main. Okay. Main.ts, I need to export my new stuff. So I got handles announcements, copy that, and I made a handles chat, which we'll put there. I also copy the announcements listener, so I'm going to make the chat listener. Chat. And where else do we do things with this? So we're going to want to do that too. Where else did we use this? And this? Okay. Copy that. And that. And that's going to be a chat listener. And it's used anywhere else down here. Copy that. There's chat. That looks good. Did we use this thing anywhere else? There to there. Yep, that looks good. Yep, got it exported at the bottom. Looks good. And I don't think I need to add anything from CU Core. Let's just see if this builds. I don't know if somebody's working on that. I thought that was a joke. It's like we built without any errors. Using the default gulp, it actually watches for changes and builds as you go. Gotcha, me huge. Thanks. That's what I figured. That's why I didn't feel like adding it right there for now. I don't technically need it. Mandarin or Python? Python might be more useful. I mean, unless you're planning on going to China. Alright, so there's my two things. Do I pass code review me huge? I think it's good to push up to our repository now. Where's my remote? Origin is the Mod Squad one. Change that to CSE Games. Make sure I have latest. Do. Oh, you know what? I did not update.
It's always something.
Always one thing. Need to update our package.json so that I increment our number to 0.1.6 so then I can publish this. Oh, and I can add my name in here too, because MeHuge isn't the only one who's worked on this now. I can add me. It's kind of a cool way to get recognized in our repositories when our mod squatters work on things to add themselves to the contributors list. So they'll be in there as always if this dude did things and he's cool. Alright. No, let's add that. Is that the right one? It was under events, right? Is what emitting anything? How's it going, Sadie? Why is it not saying my package.json was changed?